Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Reap the Harvest Live. Pat Hilton and Matt Tack coming at you, giving thanks. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to all you friendly people out there on the interwebs.
That's right.
And we've been busy. Matt's been running around like a madman, running a business and making things happen. Bought his wife a spiffy new car the other day. Kelly O, the recipient of a brand new vehicle. You got to love that.
She was. Yeah, she was happy about that. I was a day late, dollar short, though. I was supposed to get on her birthday and got it a few days late, but she's enjoying it.
Get it together, Maddie. Get it together, buddy.
She's enjoying
that's
it.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, getting the job done is getting the job done. You can't fudge it. You either get it done or you don't. So you got it done.
I got it done. You know, honestly, buying cars, that's one we'll have to dive deeper into that because I'm a negotiator by trade. So like I gotta negotiate with these guys, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's always leverage you can move on. So I'd made this guy go through about a solid 2.5 weeks. I never sit down and he'll never get me on the first deal, like the first punch, right? You know, let me think about. We call that marination mode. If you're a Steve Morales guy, if he's watching, but we put him in marination mode. Say you're gonna get, you know, I gotta think about it. So you go back. I don't make the excuse I gotta talk to my wife about it because that's just not real. Because she gets behind me, right? So I made this a collective decision. I mean, we came to a decision, right? I didn't just buy it. But put him in marination mode, came back. He's calling me, you know, peppering me. I bought a car. I've done business with this dude. So, like, he knows me. And I'm like, look, man, we're just going to negotiate down where I feel comfortable. And my basis is, like, if I make money when I turn this car in 2 years, then I'm a happy man. So, get this. I'm going to wrap up this story. But I bought a car 3.5 years ago for $27,000, right? Guess how much they paid me for that car when I got this one? $19,000.
I was close.
That means I drove a car for 3 years, right? And paid roughly around $8,000 for it. That's pretty darn good. Like that's you know,
it's a nice ratio. It's a nice ratio.
That car got hit twice too. Got freaking somebody smoked. I mean, it's crazy, but like you can do. So I didn't have any negative equity in it, is what I came down to say. So I drove it 3 years, didn't have any negative equity. Actually, I had plus side made about 2,000 on it. So there's different negotiation tactics that you can utilize. That it's a win-win, right? I always look for the win-win in it. He thought he won. I thought I won. We walked away. We both collectively walked away happy. So it was a good situation.
And Kelly O got the new piece of gear.
She got the new piece of gear, man.
Got the new mom mobile.
It is, man. It's a beast. I was like, why don't we just get a full-size van out of this thing? It's so big.
But she doesn't want to be driving around in a van, does she? Is that her style?
Man, she's not a van.
I didn't think she looked like a van gal. Not that I read people that well, but I was like, I don't know if the Kelly O's the mom van kind of gal.
She is not. She hates mini. She just doesn't like them. So we had to go.
I wouldn't want to drive one either. Maybe it's just how I feel, and I just think everyone should think like me.
What sucks is I'm a rim guy, so I had to actually go a package up to get
the fancy rims for old Kelly O.
She had to get the old fancy rims. It's not even my car. I don't even know why. Anyway, she didn't care. She didn't care one way or another.
You know what? You got to put your 2 cents in. You got to put your 2 cents in.
She's giving thanks.
That's right.
She's giving thanks. The topic of this show today. But no, I you know what? I give thanks. I give thanks to you, Patty Pat. I give thanks.
You're a good man, Matt. Good man.
Grateful man. I just 21. We're planning that out over the next few months. I take these months as real planning and initiatives because you got to plan a quarter behind, right? Because anything enhanced. I I told my marketing manager today, I was like, we aren't planning for the month of December, right? We're planning for January, February, March now.
Right.
I was like, nothing happens in December anymore. Like if deal comes, cool, but I'm not planning on any more closings happening in the month of December. I'm planning on everything happening. We're going into Q1 at this point. So
yep.
Super excited about rolling on even a new resource. Grateful for that. Is going to delegate a lot of my time away to really focus on our fund activities going into 2021. So I just all around, I'm extremely grateful. But the one thing that I wanted to mention today that I thought was just super impactful to me, right? And I wanted to build on it a little bit more. It's so I'm in some groups where we kind of collectively come together and we get trained on, people that are way before us. And I just got into another one for 2021. That's going to be really cool. It's really kind of shaping my spiritual mindset. And so I'm going to be around a really high level thinkers and really kind of like tearing back the onion, really trying to get to the core of kind of who I am as a person. And I feel like, I made leaps and bounds even over the past couple of years on that. But I feel like I have exponentially more to go, right? And I want to get to my truest self. And there's a number of ways to do that. But one of the things that came out of my last meetings with a couple of guys, Pat, and I'll let you build onto this, but I thought it was extremely a cool perspective because even some of the high level thinkers that I listen to that I have great respect for, the Ed Mylett's, various people that say, what is your calling, right? What is your calling? And so they use this term of like, what is my calling? And then it becomes associated to me, right? Like as if there's like one intentional purpose. And if I miss that purpose, then I miss everything else. And so we were diving deeper into that. And we came up with, well, I didn't come up with it. It was within the kind of the itinerary or the index of what we were talking about that day. And it's what identifying your unique skill set. And then once your unique contribution associated to that, right? So everyone has a unique talent, right? They do. We all are just super unique individuals. But a lot of times I ask the question because we kind of glazed over how you get to your unique skill set or unique talent. And a lot of times it's through somebody else, right? So it's sitting down with somebody else and getting that like secondary dialogue, like where you secondary viewpoint of, hey, I think I see something in you. There's somebody that you obviously respect, but I think I see this in you. Like this is in really kind of diving into that, almost like honing in, maybe even a couple 30-minute sessions or hour-long sessions with somebody that you can trust that say, hey, give me feedback, give me maybe areas that I need to grow in. But then also give me my strength zone of how I can dial into that strength zone. And everyone has their own like unique talent or unique skill set. And then we layered that up with what is your unique contribution? Not my calling, not my purpose, but what is your unique contribution? And then it takes it away from me, which is more internally, more cynically based, like what is my calling, to like what's our contribution or what's my unique contribution associated to my unique talent. And now it's with the intention, right, of working on myself. Like I want to gather what my unique skill set is, and then how I can contribute associated to that. So it's more action based. And I thought that was super impactful, right? And I did a live on it, just super. I was short with it. I think I had my baby with me. I was walking. I picked her up from daycare, but it was. I thought that was, it gave some really, really good parallels. I think associated to like my purpose and my calling, but it doesn't. It's not like very singular focused. Your contribution can be many things, right? You can display a contribution, and I think that's where a lot of times for me. I think of some of these guys that I'm like, man, I really want to, I want to contribute in some way, and I want to pull some information out of them. But like, how do I contribute to them first? Because we can add value literally to anybody. And I, whether it's it literally can be anything. Like you can pray over somebody, you know,
And
for
anyone
me,
can add value to you.
anyone
Like,
can add value to me. Exactly. And that's extremely important because you
I got
said
a
something.
story about that.
You need to be able to receive, right? Like
Right.
so many times where we want to give our 2 cents or give kind of like what we think about a situation or what we think about a person. And a lot of times it's like no one gives a shit, right?
Well,
But
I think on top of it is I think that sometimes we walk past opportunities because we don't think that they look like opportunities. Like I used to walk when I lived in California, we lived right across the street from Mission Bay Park. If you know Mission Bay Park, it's like this beautiful walking path and people are riding on their boats, really nice. And so I would like cross the street from our apartment and walk around and run around the path. They had little exercise booths, like little stations with like the
yeah,
little wooden planks, and you could like do pull-ups and swings and all this kind of stuff. And
right.
there was this guy that would sit there on with a wheelchair every single day and fish. And I probably walked past this guy for 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even a year before one night I saw him. There's nobody around but him sitting there fishing in the dark. And I'm like, dude, we're the only two people here. I'm like, do you catch anything at night? And this guy like went into all this stuff about how fishing for him's like this mental thing. And he served in this military deployment here and there and all over the world. And now, you know, he uses fishing as this way of doing this, and you can do it too. You just have to figure out what system works for you or what activity gets your brain to operate on this frequency. And started breaking all this knowledge down on me. And I'm like, this guy is no joke. So then every day I'd see this guy at like 11 o'clock in the morning because I'd go out there usually in the morning and he'd be there. And I started talking to this guy every single day. But I walked past that opportunity time and time and time again because he was just like, let's just be honest, he was just like the wheelchair handicapped fisherman guy. It might sound rude or mean or self-centered. It just didn't really seem like somebody that I would vibe with personally. But in the end, probably vibed with him way more than I even vibed with the walking path in that park. I took way more out of my conversations I had with him than anything that ever happened at that park in the years that I lived in that area. So it's interesting how we might look at something and face value might say, oh, I don't know, just keep on going. When in reality, that's exactly what you need.
It's huge. That's huge.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
I'd be playing gigs. Somebody would walk in to order a drink or something. And in my head, maybe I think, oh, dude, that's like the last person that's going to give me a $20 bill. But I still performed the same level of intensity. And guess what? Guy gave me $100 bill. So again, what face value means absolutely nothing, really. You might be walking past an opportunity to grow because you are convincing yourself that you know something that you don't really know. So
that's right.
Take it as you may, but you see somebody at the store, or you see somebody with a car that's not perfect, or you see somebody with their shirt untucked looking a little scruffy one day. You never know, dude. That could be the person that pulls it all together for you a week later. That pulls over to fix your flat tire a week later. Might be that same person. So it's just something to think about, especially we go into these seasons where we're thinking about giving, but sometimes you give with the hope that you get a reward at the end of the giving. No one ever wants to talk about that during Thanksgiving either, or at Christmas. But
no, that's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Back in the day when I was a kid and like we did church and we would like feed homeless people at church, like we never took pictures of that. There was no Facebook to post that online. We just did it. Year
Yeah.
after year after year after year after year. I saw some of the same people give them gloves, toothpaste, combs, shampoo. We didn't take pictures or promote that. We just did it. But
Yeah.
today it's like, oh, well, look at me. Like, I'm taking a picture of my receipt. I tipped somebody $100.
Yeah.
You should be a good person too. Well, what is this really about? Is it about
Yeah.
helping the waitress because she had a shitbag day or she's having a bad month? Or is it about getting recognition? So it's
Yeah.
important to think about that. Like you mentioned, contribution. How can I use my talents to contribute?
The contribution element. Yeah. There was so I have case in point. I utilized a little bit of both platforms this past week because social media is like I struggle with it because at the end of the day it has a lot of sins associated to it, but then it has a lot of goodness right on the other end. It's a ton of greatness, a ton of value. So
totally,
like it's a constant game of like it's tug of war, you know what I mean? Of like the good and the bad in social media. And so
yeah,
I'll tell you, just being completely transparent, I wasn't doing it to reciprocate in any way. But it was it was unbelievable to me. I think the story was, and that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. But I think you bring up a good element of like reciprocation of like when you're giving, if it's to get something in return, it takes away from the give part.
It does.
And there's so much, you get so much more gratitude out of something and I learned this because I mean, a lot of times like in business, you're like, hey, what angle can I take? You know what I mean? What angle can I take? And right now, we're raising capital on some apartment buildings too. And it's also like, oh man, like we need it, but like you also don't want to sound too thirsty, you know? So in these conversations that I have when I'm raising even capital, I'm playing the long game. Hey, if it's not working out right now, I'm sure we'll do something in the future. No harm, no foul. Like one of those things, because I'm playing the long game, right? That, front, mid, and a rear type thinking of like, hey, where am I playing the long game in this? But let me go back on Saturday. There was a different charity outlet, and one of my buddies had asked me to tag along and come in, and he's just an awesome guy. And I didn't really know what it was about entirely, but I knew that we would be giving boxes out to people just in need, right? Little did I know it was a lot of single mothers raising children. So we come in and we're going to various houses and we're dropping off boxes of like Tide and food and just various things, coloring books, giving out books. And it was cool to give in that capacity. It was somebody else giving, and then we were able to facilitate that and give to them. So we hit up a couple of houses. It was really, really inspiring. It was cool. We had really good dialogue and conversation. And then we came to this one lady, right? And this is the depravity of how COVID has hit. A lot of people of us haven't seen it. But the reality is when a restaurant shuts down because of COVID and they won't let people in and they have to lay off their staff, right? They were relying on that income, and they were going month to month. They were going paycheck to paycheck on their mortgage. They're probably going to fall a couple months behind mortgage. It's tough to even get another job at that point. So now they're backed up 6-7 months of like mortgage payments because they weren't making anything before. They're raising kids, the food comes first, then their mortgage payment. So it's been tough for a lot of people that we don't see. And so we came to this grandmother and she's raising her 2 grandkids and she's about 9 months past in her mortgage payment. And I'm sitting there and she has an amazing spirit about her. She's just unbelievable. She's like, God's going to come through. I have faith. He's going to come through. He's going to come through. And, so I was like, I was even in a situation where I'm like, man, I feel like I should document this. Like, this is amazing. And I put her up on my IG. I socialized it. And I put something out there, and there was a few people that actually responded to it that want to give into it. So I thought it was really cool. So we're actually setting up a fund. And this is the greatness in social, right? To create an audience and to create awareness. of like how COVID has impacted somebody and maybe, how we can jump in. Right. And so we set up a fund. I actually just got that done today. We set up a fund through a church channel, and they're able to give, and it can be actually like a deferment and like a taxable donation, right? So the donation can reduce your taxes now. So I was like, if I'm going to ask people to give, we can maybe give in that capacity so that we ultimately then can to give to this woman. So I had a few people reach out to me. I'm going to grow sponsorship through that for the next 30 days to see what we can do for this woman. I thought it was pretty cool. We're going to reach out to the bank and see if we can work with her. But that was just something that came to me that where I was like, man, I got to move on this, and how can we move on it, right? And I'm going to try to get other local partners, meet with a couple other local partners to help this woman. But this woman was able to give thanks in a very, very difficult time, and I'm not sure I would even be able to do that, right? She was like, she's potentially losing her house. There's just a number of things wrong kind of with the house. It feels like she would be backed into a corner, and she was smiling, and she was like extremely grateful, and she took the boxes from us. And I took a lot out of that because it really just came down to like, wow, this woman doesn't have much right now. She doesn't have much right now. She was going paycheck to paycheck. She doesn't really have anything, but she counts it all joy. She just counts it all joy. She has a different type of like happiness in her that like, honestly, like I feel like I haven't even experienced yet because I feel like I'm pretty happy. She has joy in her. And man, she was giving thanks like crazy. She was giving thanks. She's like, God's going to figure this out. And I'm like, how can I step up in some way? How can I be that? So what I decided to do was part of this, right? I'm trying to get a minimum of 12, obviously, people on board. I'm going to donate the first $1,000 towards this woman. And so what I need to do is I'm going to call it out. So my out of my company, the first 1,000's coming towards the 13,000. What's up, Paulie? So I'm going to donate.
That's
the first
a great
1,000.
American right there, folks. Look at that family picture.
So then I need 12 people now to back this effort if I can. So what I'm doing is trying to get 12 people to back the effort. And we're trying to, it's sometimes it's going to be a big jump for somebody, but I need I'm trying to get $1,000 more bucks from 12 people to get this woman and really save her house and hopefully give her some, she already has the Christmas cheer. This woman's an amazing woman. Unreal. But $13,000, they'll put her up to speed on her mortgage. She can keep her home, and she can minister to her community. She's just bringing joy to her community. And I'm like, if there's anyone that I want to back, that I want to put money into, it's that woman. But she's just spreading, and she's like, look, I'm not leaving here because this is my battleground. This is where God wants me. And dude, she's straight in the hood. Like we were in the friggin' hood.
I think I saw a video on your Instagram page.
Yeah. So I did a live on this she's in the hood. She did not want me to record her. She's like, my hair's all messed up, this, that, and the other.
I saw this video.
She is flat out in the hood, right? Doesn't want to leave her house. She could probably let her house go, honestly, and she could get back on her feet somewhere else because she's just like, I guarantee you this woman's just resourceful, right?
Right.
So and she absolutely is. She's not leaving the house. She's going to figure it out.
Right.
And she's not bashful about saying, hey, I have a need, too. I'm going to take this. We gave her a little granddaughter's books. But dude, yeah, I went live on it because that was just absolute extreme gratefulness, thankfulness. And it's somebody that I wanted to back. So what I'm trying to do, I'm going to get 12 people. I'm going to itemize it. So I set the fund up at a church, and now it's tax deductible. So you can whoever backs like this initiative, right? To save her house, it can be tax deductible. So it'll be tax deductible at year end. So if somebody wants to get in on this, man, it'll be really cool. And we'll document obviously the check going over to the bank. We'll show you kind of where everything's going, and we'll probably hand her like kind of like a fake check or something like that too, to show her, hey, you're all caught up, one of those things. So I thought it'd be really cool to do that. So I'm trying to utilize social media for this. So I'm like not trying. This isn't anything to do with like me. I'm not trying to be on a pedestal. I just want to get the momentum going. So I'm going to do the first 1,000. I'm going to do $1,000. I'm going to do the first 1,000 to it. And then I need 12 other people to back me on this initiative. So, so make sure you and then
let's make a GoFundMe page for it.
we can do a GoFundMe.
We could. I'll text you about it, but we'll figure it out.
Tax deductible. So we can set up the link. What I can do right now is actually send you the link. It's going to be through Redeemer City Church in Tampa. So if you go to Redeemer City Church, I think /give. Here, let's we can do this live right now. It's so I think it's /give. Let me see real quick. I'll send you the link right now, Pat. So if somebody wants to hop in, okay. When you give now, yeah. So give now. So /give. We should have done this before, but I mean, it was just coming to me, so it'll be good.
You know, when it hits, and we move with precision.
All right, just emailed that over to you. So that is the so if you want to do that, but you got to be sure to put in like the memo field, Margaret. Margaret's mortgage. We'll put in Margaret's mortgage. That's what it has to be. So I can Margaret's mortgage has to be in a memo line. And then you can DM me at official Matt Tack if you have any questions. Feel to reach out to me. And we can do that though. So out of me, it's coming the first 1,000. That'll allow it to be tax deductible. So it's going to be going there, and then we're going to be it'll be submitted actually from them, completely anonymous. I'm not going to be in, so it's going to be an anonymous source. If you do want your name to be on it, 100%, I will do that. So if you're cool with it not being anonymous, I'll promote you on our page. I'll promote you all over the place that you did this. We can give a promotion. We love givers. Dude,
we're the given type.
If you want to be anonymous,
cool, you know me, I'm bad at email. Maddie knows.
Maddie knows. Yeah, you are bad. The good thing is you're good on your phone. If I DM you, you're there in a heartbeat.
I got it.
Cool. So yeah, that'll allow it to be tax deductible. So we're gonna. My goal is to before Christmas, obviously, 30 days really or less. Before Christmas is be able to do this for this lady. I thought it'd be really cool. So if anyone wants to
give to the Redeemer Church in Tampa, and then it goes to her.
Yeah. So if they give, yeah, exactly. So if they give to the Redeemer Church in Tampa, that makes it tax deductible because you're giving obviously to a charitable or religious institution. So that'll be the tax deductible angle. And then, but you have to put in the memo line, Margaret's mortgage. Once you do Margaret's mortgage in the memo line, that'll be like kind of the fund that it's related to, and all the funds will go in there. I'm paying for all the admin fees associated to it. So if like, don't worry about that. So 100% of the funds will go there. Anything above and beyond, I'm paying for like the admin to get it over there. So all $1,000 will be going over to her. So if anyone wants to hop in on that,
13. So we need 12 people. All right, let's I'll get this chopped up. We'll make a little promo for it, and we'll get it all over the internet too.
Yeah, make sure that Lee Carney and Alex Ottawa will get this. They'll get they need. All right,
I'll make sure Lee and the Trailer Park King.
Call them out.
Trailer Park King and good old Lee, the Irish, the Irish kicker. So, that's beautiful.
No, they're the man. If they don't get in, that's cool too. But I figured I'd call it lots of money. I dig it. But I
dig that. Beautiful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's your chance to spread the cheer. I will put that all in the links here in a minute. And we'll get another little clip up so you guys can see that. I'll make sure Matt uploads it to his Facebook feed too, so people can get the information. And it's a beautiful thing. Give thanks and don't walk past opportunities.
Wrap it up. I challenge everybody. I've done this myself, so I challenge everybody. Sit down with somebody that you trust this week. Sit down with somebody you trust, absolutely trust, you're vulnerable to, you're extremely transparent. And they give you at least three, they feel like three unique talents about you. What are the three unique talents that they think, man, that you're pretty clever, you're witty, you're funny? What are three unique talents that they feel like, you just don't care or whatever? I mean, like there's three unique attributors, three unique talents that you have in your characters and your skill set that somebody else can reaffirm, right? So like you'll write them down. I would say write down 10. And if somebody can reaffirm, so for somebody you trust, hey, tell me a little bit about myself. So do that. So sit down with somebody, have them reaffirm it is your unique skill set, your unique talent. And then find 5 ways to contribute through those talents, through that skill set, right? So five unique contributions. So write those things down of like what then in what area, right? What area do I feel like I can add a decent amount of value rather quickly, right? It definitely will realign kind of your thought process and your vision of how you can be. What is your talent? A lot of people like, I don't have, like, what is my talent? Like the one guy said that, and that's what came back. Has somebody reaffirm, like, what are you? Sometimes you're just a great listener, right? Sometimes you're just an encourager. Whatever it is, make sure that they're marked down, they're reaffirmed by somebody else. And maybe if it's a growth area that you need, like, yeah, I'm actually pretty good at this, but I need to like grow a little bit more. And then what are 5 contributors? Like who can you contribute to, and identify who you contribute to. And it doesn't have to be like anyone crazy, like Matthew McConaughey or Patty Hilton. It could be, just somebody that you run into every day and that you interact with, that you could try it on that. Hey, I think I can contribute them in some way, without the process of reciprocation, not even thinking of that. Just I think I'm a unique contributor in this way. So,
and it can be uncomfortable sometimes. Like I brought that guy up because I had seen that guy so many times. It got to the point where I'd like kind of like wave at him or whatever. He'd wear like all kinds of American gear and stuff like that. So I kind of like give him a little salute while he was fishing. And then after a while, I was like, it was nighttime when I saw him, which was the first time I ever saw him at nighttime. And I'm like, how many hours has this guy been sitting here? And I finally said something. This dude started breaking down all kinds of global knowledge on me. And I was like, dude, you should have talked to this guy 6 months ago. But you were in your own little bubble, focused on you, and didn't take any time to take a little break or even ask this guy a question. How many times do we do that? All the time, every day. Walk right past people that could be game changers for us. So you never know. Something to think about. Yeah. And that guy was like, oh man, I love the fact that you always stop over and talk to me now. So like made him excited.
That's awesome.
Know what I mean? When in reality, for months and months and months, I walked right by the guy. So it's just interesting. You never know. But yeah, you guys have a great week. Have a great weekend. And
appreciate you listening. People are reaching out to me saying they're listening in. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Subscribe. If you're liking the content, please share it. That's the biggest thing you could do for me.
For sure.
We just love giving the best of content. And we're constantly learning, constantly growing together. So thank you. Follow me at Official Matt Tack. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your families.
Enjoy it.